there are a few things that actors need to consciously understand, and the biggest and most important one is that you can't treat your headshot like it's homework. Usually the way it happens is this: you're not booking, you're not getting auditions, sorry, not booking, you're not getting auditions, and so you're questioning what's wrong, your agent is questioning what's wrong, and so you decide, okay, let's update headshots, and it comes from a place of, ah, I need to do this again. And honestly, people say it like that to my face, and I'm like, could you be a little bit happier about the fact that you're going to be in front of the camera? So
Mhm.
the first and most important thing is to actually have the desire to be photographed and to know that you're beautiful and that you're worthy of being photographed, and that whatever didn't work in the past is not you. It's just that whatever rendition or whatever representation of you that you've captured in the past that didn't work. It's not you. It's not your person. So don't treat it like it's homework, that it's something that needs to be done. It is homework and it is something that you need to have done. But if you treat it in a way that's like, I am so excited, I get to work with a headshot photographer today, then things are going to be different. And I would say my clients are maybe split 50-50. My actors are 50%, yeah, I'm so excited, let's shoot, let's do it. And the other 50% are like, ugh, okay, let's do this. So that would be the biggest thing. The second most important thing is understand that you're a person, you're a human, and your reaction to the camera is very different when it's a still photograph than it is when you're on a movie set. When you're on a movie set, there are 24 frames per second. We can hear your voice, we can see your body movements. Your reaction to that is going to be different than when it's 1/8,000th of a second and it's click and we freeze your face that moment. That will make you feel different than it will when you're on a movie set. And so getting to know your photographer and being able to communicate with them in a way that's vulnerable and honest is very important. That's why I would say 9 out of 10 people I work with, we do a Zoom consultation, and the 1 out of 10 I usually regret working with them. And Zoom consultations are very important for a simple reason. We're friends, like I've known you guys for quite a while now, when we're Facebook friends, whatever. So if we were to shoot all of a sudden, it's okay. But if I don't know anything about you and you don't know anything about me, and the first time you hear my voice and you get a sense for my energy is right before I point that camera in your face, that's a recipe for disaster, because to you I am a complete stranger who holds a tremendous amount of power over you, because it is powerful to photograph someone. It's very powerful. So when you do that Zoom thing, you get to know me a little bit and I get to know you a little bit. I get to gauge your sense of humor. How am I going to make you comfortable? How am I going to make you laugh? And so when we shoot a week and a half, 2 weeks later after the Zoom consultation, you've got 2 weeks thinking, okay, I've made a new friend. And when you walk into the space, then you're not walking into the space with a complete stranger. You know something about me and I know something about you. So that's very important. Number three, I would say in the one-on-one headshot, like you can't mess this up, is you have to understand what you need to capture. What is the intention? You have to know how are you going to be marketed, and so you have to have that conversation with your acting teacher, with your agent, with if you have that luxury to have that conversation with casting, do it. Because if, let's say, I tend to be more on the happy kind of bubbly side, you're not going to cross the street the other side at 2 a.m. to avoid me. I'm not scary, right? So if I throw on a leather jacket and I try to be like, "No, I will never be able to do that. I can't pull that off. I am a happy dude. I am peaceful. I can't play like someone who's going to stab someone. You have to figure that out. Because if, let's say, I was an actor and I wanted to play villain roles and I don't have it in me, I'm more like a funny guy, I'm going to have a miserable time. Even if you could pull it off in your headshot session, you're not going to be able to pull it off in an audition. And if you were able to pull it off in an audition, you're not going to be able to pull it off long enough on set. At some point, you will be exposed. So you have to understand how you're going to market yourself and tailor your headshot session to that. So if you're like a young dad, that's what we do. If you want to do some corporate stuff, that's what we do. If you want to do some villain, or like you're like a superhero or a secret agent, Russians sent you to make the Pentagon collapse, then yeah, sure. But once we understand those things, then we structure your session to tailor and cater to those things. If we don't know that, then we end up with a bunch of pretty pictures that might be good for your Tinder profile, but it probably won't further your acting career as much as you would like it to. That would be it. It's a long answer, but that would be it.
Oh, that's great. And I love I think what it comes down to is having a plan and having intentions. Why am I getting these pictures? Which look, which, if there's any different hairstyling or anything happening in between shoots, because I do think and I've done this in the past where it was like, oh, I'll just go find my favorite outfits that I like to
Yep.
look in, and oh, there's the red thing, there's the blue thing, and there's the suit, or there's the collared thing with a tie, and not matching every look to, okay, what types of roles is this look for? What types of roles is this look for? And you find your whatever, maybe it's 3 to 5. And I think that should also be married to actually what is shooting in your market, the shows that, so take stock with your agent, with casting, with the manager, with yourself, with your photo, with your headshot director of this is the roles that I'm typically put out to. These are all the things that are casting in the area. So then where are the gaps as well? You want a commercial shot, you want the more dramatic shot, you want like something that could qualify as period piece potentially without being too over the top. Maybe something that's more like post-apocalyptic, rough around the edges, jean jacket, something in black, like shows like Walking Dead or those kind of shows, like something more gritty. Like find all those different nuanced looks that, okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
these are the different looks that then, because then your agent can custom submit instead of just your generic smiley
Right.
commercial
Yep.
photograph being
Yep.
submitted for something that's dark or gritty. You've got these custom submissions, and then casting can really see if you're known as the friendly bubbly guy, and that's the
Right.
picture that people are submitting of you. Casting might not have the imagination to picture you in a gritty or darker role, but
Right.
if you've got a great shot that matches that and matches that essence, then boom, you're off to the races, and they don't have to imagine you. What about things like, do you do shoots with people where they're clean shave, or where they got a beard and then they shave? Oh, did we lose him? There he is.
No, no, no. I'm here.
What about like different looks, hairstyling, those kind of things? How do you deal with that on set?
That's a great question. So usually what I tell people is, as long as you show up to your audition looking similar to what you do in your headshot, then you're fine. So if you want to do a couple of looks that are clean shaven, well, first with stubble and then clean shaven, because you can't really grow facial hair in 10 minutes, um, then go for it. But just don't confuse what you've applied with and what you look like. So if you're applying for something with a bit of a beard and a facial hair, show up like that. Ideally, I think it's better to not have any extreme look changes, um, because you can't really get ready for an audition with an extreme look change, and I see that especially happen with makeup and hair. A lot of times I will be asked to, I sometimes partner up with makeup and hair artists, and we will be asked to do something that's over the top, and I always ask, are you going to be able to replicate that in the 4 or 5 hours before your audition? Because if we're taking 4 or 5 hours to do your makeup and hair in a headshot session, do you really have that luxury to pay that person 250, $300 before every audition? Because if you're not going to look like that, they're not going to be happy about it.
Right.
So I, generally speaking, I don't advise people to have any extreme look changes, but I have had people shave on set or change their hairstyle a bit on set. So like maybe let's say sometimes hair would be on both shoulders, and in some shots we would have it in a ponytail or like a bun or something like that. That's common and it's actually called for, but I would not call that extreme style change. It's a bit of a change, but it's not extreme.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point with hair and makeup too, because a lot of times if people aren't being intentional about what is the reason I'm taking this picture, it's not to get a glamorous
Yeah,
picture that it's going to be on the front of Cosmopolitan magazine. It's to
exactly.
It's to take a picture of you that casting is going to see when you do submit a self tape, or when you walk into the room, you got to look like that. And I think that is a common mistake where people glam themselves up. They get these brand new curls and they've gotten an amazing blowout and perfect makeup, but they are never going to be able to replicate that
Yeah.
on their own without hiring a hair and makeup person. So what's the point of having that picture just to be like, oh, well, this isn't the person in your, this is you, like, this is
Yeah.
you, which is what
It's
you don't
never a
want.
pleasant surprise. It is never a
Right.
pleasant surprise.